Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Gemini, November 8, 2022. You're motivated to share ideas or learn something useful today. Bringing others together can figure strongly. Later today, there can be some impatience, especially with people who lack a sense of decorum or who seem to be quite rude. There can be indecision or doubts to manage. As much as you would like to get a decision made and behind you, try not to rush into one, especially if it has to do with critical financial matters or a partnership. Aim to be as flexible and adaptable as possible and keep the bigger picture in perspective so that you don't let the little problems drag you down. Majestic Jupiter, our great benefic, is shivering through your solar 6th house of employment. He visited here for the first 5 months of the year and is finishing up his tour now. If you've been juggling a very hectic schedule, you may notice you have more opportunities to date or for pleasure with your lover as you balance and rebalance your work and life schedule. Don't get bogged down in overemphasizing matters that are out of your control. Instead, consider ways you can truly make love an act of service, renewal, and magic. The stars are on your side. How do you feel about your commitments? By now, you should feel more attuned to what you want or need in your daily operations at work. However, you need to focus on the quality of your arrangements and partnerships when the moon enters your opposite sign. Bright Luna is ready to take the lead in forming independent yet assured partnerships that will allow you to grow in your work life. However, you should be mindful of how you assert yourself or your needs to avoid coming off as aggressive. The moon's departure from your work sector is doing more than leaving you with an intuitive read on work and job matters just as you move into some of the most pivotal weeks of the professional year but of this financial year as well. As the only visit this year while there is planetary activity in your income sector, this leaves you with everything needed to exploit the potential that is exploding on the income and job fronts. Don't let progress stand in the way of feelings. This is a week that will probably find you wondering, what's it all for? And though you won't be able to answer this question necessarily, it's important to give yourself the time to inquire. Slow down the pace a bit and open up to your inner voice. Give yourself time to unwind and rejuvenate by carving out time in your schedule for exercise. Drink a lot of water afterwards and remember to breathe deeply. Practicality is the theme of the day. This makes for an excellent time to sort through things that require sound thinking. Your logic and ability to reason will be stronger, and if something of this nature has been confusing you, try it again with this vibration occurring. Work through your budget, balance your checkbook, and take a look at your business plan if it applies. Chances are, this is something that is somewhat overdue, so make the most of the opportunity this day brings. After wrapping up its first visit to your work sector since Jupiter retrograde back in for a rare do-over last week, the moon returns to your relationship sector today. While the moon returns every 4 weeks and this is a chance to become more emotionally engaged, there will be 2 things missing from the start. The first is Jupiter, who retrograde back out last week, and the second is that for the first time in over 3 months, after Mercury left last weekend, there is no planetary activity in Libra for it to clash with. This means a lot less pressure on you and your relationships. 8 days after Jupiter retrograde back out of your relationship sector, but as he is already slowing down ahead of a direct turn in 19 days that will see him make his way back, the moon returns. As an ordinary monthly visit, this is always a chance to check in and become more emotionally engaged, but this time, without the intensity that Jupiter can bring. Our eyes in the sky. The day's powerful influences tell us to slow down. It isn't just a race right now, it's a marathon for you to do and soak in the healing. The Scorpio sun isn't playing. It requires you to make your mental health a top priority. As the Scorpio sun aligns with the south node of destiny, there is an interplay of power and authority that just doesn't seem to let up. Bosses and colleagues could even try some moves on you that leave you shaking your head in disbelief. People in relationships are going to have to find ways to compromise when Venus and Uranus oppose each other. You can't take on everything yourself. Giving up your peace for the sake of someone else isn't going to remedy any situation. Sweeping things under the rug never served the greater purpose, but with Venus wanting to break away from the drama and noise, it could be a temptation for many. As you rest your head on your pillow, Mercury and the South Node of Destiny in Scorpio will blast open your psychic ability and empathic nature. This is a great time to connect with the other side, but it will be important that you set some emotional and energetic boundaries. Another helpful minor connection between Mercury and Chiron can provide some cosmic healing, allowing you to shake off any hurt from the past. This can help you quash any issues that have been weighing you down in the romance department. This energy is also perfect for addressing your financial situation. If you're due for a raise, now might be a good time to request one. The cosmic weather is quiet today until mid-afternoon, when the Aries moon aligns with Chiron, making us agitated. Present situations trigger a reminder of long-buried insecurities, causing us to shadowbox against a phantom enemy. The irony is that this enemy is ourselves. We are the ones who are subtly replaying past events and reinforcing our own trauma. Naturally, it is easier to blame an outside party for our troubles. Yet, the only way to face this foe now is through acceptance and forgiveness. We must stand toe-to-toe with our psychic aggressor and integrate it, not denounce it through avoidance or passive-aggressive behavior. Healing can only come through reconciliation. Shortly following this, Venus opposes Uranus in Taurus, stimulating surprise events in love and money. Uranus is the arbiter of change, but Venus in Scorpio prefers to maintain control. Although our relationships tend to be paths toward evolution under Scorpionic placements, we still must wrestle with our fixations, obsessions, and jealousies. We expect others to be loyal to us, and us to them, and so when conflict arises in intimate dynamics, it can come as a shock. Even more so, Venus opposite Uranus presages sudden, unexpected circumstances. An out-of-the-ordinary, mysterious stranger may suddenly enter the scene, throwing our predictable life into upheaval. We may realize we need more out of a current relationship, making requests of our partner that push everyone out of their comfort zone. We may even decide we don't want to be partnered at all, desirous of personal freedom. The best way to handle this transit is to be flexible. This is not necessarily an influence of breakups, although it can be one of testing the limits and toying with the idea of illicit behavior. Infidelity would not be tolerated now and could lead to a breakdown of trust and subsequent parting of ways. On the money front, be mindful that this is an occasion for both windfalls and sudden losses. Don't gamble with anything you can't afford to lose.